So you're thinking of moving to Niagara Falls, New York. You've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you around Niagara Falls. I'll take you to some neighborhoods. I'll show you some homes of different price points so you can see what might fit in your budget. And if you stick around until the end, I'm going to share with you some of the best kept secrets of Niagara Falls you're just not going to want to miss. So stick around. If this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything there is to know about Niagara Falls, New York, subscribe below and don't forget to tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about any changes in the Niagara Falls real estate market. What do you say we get started? Let's go. I'm Bruce Andrews, the real estate guy, and I love helping people just like you make your move to Niagara Falls. Whether it's in 1 week or 8 weeks, feel free to reach out. Use my contact information down below, and I'll help you make your move to Niagara Falls a smooth move. Let's get started. Okay, friends, so we're in the car. We're ready to start our tour of Niagara Falls. Our first stop is going to be the DeVeaux section of Niagara Falls. DeVeaux is divided up into two sides. There's the west side of Lewiston Road and the east side of Lewiston Road. We'll take a look at properties on both sides, and from there we'll go to the next neighborhood. You ready? Okay, friends, we've reached our first destination right here on the border of Niagara Falls. To the north ahead of me is actually Lewiston, and behind me is the city. And if you look off to the side over here, this is the Devil's Hole State Park, which is right on the border of Niagara Falls. It's a great opportunity to go down to the waterfront and actually see all the sights. Let's take a ride over to our first house and we'll take a look. Okay, we're at the foot of College Avenue in DeVeaux. This is one of the finest streets in the whole city. I'm standing at the end of the street, and behind me you can see the Niagara River Gorge. And as we turn around, we pan the neighborhood here a little bit, you'll see some of the different size homes that are available. This is a pretty typical home for the neighborhood. As we walk up the street, you'll see some others. One of the homes here just recently sold was a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath home, 3,400 square feet, and sold for the low 400s. So that should give you a little idea of maybe what the value of the homes are in this particular street. Again, we're on the west side of Lewiston Road, which is the gorge side, which seems to be a little more preferable in the area. So we're here on College Avenue. We're on the west side of Lewiston Road. As I mentioned before, some of the homes on this side of the street are kind of the premier homes in the city. A typical home can go anywhere from $300 to $450. Well, one just sold recently. I think it was a 3,500 square foot home. Had 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, and that's sold for about, I think it was $415,000. So it's a very exclusive area. It's often referred to as the DeVeaux Woods because of the mature trees that you see around. So this is, again, we're on the west side of Lewiston Road in DeVeaux, and what we'll do next is we'll take a run across the street and we'll look at some homes on the east side of Lewiston Road. The prices aren't as pricey as here, but there's still very nice homes over there. So let's go take a look over there. Okay, so now we're on the east side of Lewiston Road. The homes there's still some pretty large homes over here, but they're a lot more modest than the ones that we just saw on College Avenue. So let's just take a walk down the street here. We'll look at a couple of them. And right across the street here is the Maple Avenue School, which is a very popular school here in Niagara Falls. I'm just going to give you a quick view of that. There you go, some Maple Avenue School. And then we'll just take a walk down the street here and just give you an idea of some of the homes. So on this side of the street, most of the homes are in the area of, say, 1,300 square feet to 2,000 square feet. And as a price range, I would say anywhere from a low of $120,000 to as much as $300,000, but most typically they're in the area of $200,000 to $250,000 for most of the homes on this side of Lewiston Road. So that takes care of DeVeaux. Our next stop, I think, we'll go east of Hyde Park. Hyde Park is the area where they have the golf course and the baseball diamonds and some of the other athletic facilities. So we'll wrap up here and we'll take a ride over to the east of Hyde Park neighborhood. Okay, this is our second stop, actually our third stop, but part of our second stop. We're east of Hyde Park. We're on Linwood Avenue, and I made a special purpose stop on this street because across the street they have the baseball diamonds. Let me just give you a quick peek of that. You can see the baseball stadium. And it's a huge, they call this Hyde Park, it's a huge park. They have baseball diamonds, they play Tyro football here, and we actually have AAA baseball teams come to our field here. Every so often they'll contract with a baseball team. So anyhow, these are typical homes that you'll find on this side of Hyde Park. And I would say size-wise, they're probably about 1,500 square feet to, say, as much as 2,000 square feet. There are a few two-families over here, but not that many. And the price range in this neighborhood would probably be anywhere from $130,000 to as much as $250,000. It's a great little spot. Very close-knit neighborhood. And again, you have the feature of having the baseball diamonds in the park right across the street. And there's year-round entertainment over there. And behind me is also Hyde Park Creek. They have a little place called Duck Island where they used to play music on Duck Island. So there's lots to see and do over here. So our next stop is we're going to go over to Parkview Drive, which is kind of like the high-end street over here, which backs up to the golf course. We'll take a run over there right now and we'll look at that. Okay, we're here on Parkview Drive in Niagara Falls. This is, again, another east of Hyde Park neighborhood. This is a little bit more exclusive out here. The reason being is behind the homes over here, there's actually an 18-hole golf course, which is a very nice course. It's always convenient to live on the golf course, right? And actually, a quick story. I grew up in Niagara Falls. When I grew up, I lived downtown. And a lot of the friends that I went to school with actually lived out here in Parkview Drive, so I used to love coming out here and hanging out with my friends. They all had such nice houses. I mean, ours wasn't terrible, but this is pretty nice out here. So just take a peek at some of these homes. They range in price from probably $180 to probably $250, maybe even $275. They're typically anywhere from 1,800 square feet to as many as 24. There's probably even a 2,800 square foot house in this neighborhood. But it's pretty exclusive. It's a nice place to live. And again, you've got the golf course in your backyard. And you're not too far from Linwood Avenue where the baseball diamonds are, which is just a few blocks away from here. So this is another wonderful opportunity if you live in Niagara Falls. If you think about it, the price of these homes compared to the rest of the country, you're getting an awful lot of value for the money. There's some real value to living here. So if you're coming to Niagara Falls, you pick the right spot. You're going to save some money. Okay, we're on our second from the last stop. We're now in the LaSalle section of Niagara Falls. LaSalle runs from roughly 57th Street off of Niagara Falls Boulevard all the way up to 102nd Street. They run perpendicular to Niagara Falls Boulevard. Most of the streets are very, very similar in size and style. You'll find quite a few Cape Cods here and quite a few ranches. There are some two-stories, but for the most part, that's pretty much what I think you're going to see. So one of the things that's unique about LaSalle is that it's very affordable, for one. And two, I don't know if you can hear it behind me, I'm going to go back here, but behind me is the Niagara Scenic Parkway. And the Niagara Scenic Parkway actually separates LaSalle into the north side and the west side. On the west side is the Buffalo Avenue side where the Niagara River is. And then over here on the east side, if you go up to Niagara Falls Boulevard, that's where you're going to find all the shopping centers. So it's a very, very convenient place to live. It's also very close to the Niagara Falls International Airport, which is just not too far up Niagara Falls Boulevard around 102nd Street. So from here, I think we'll take a ride over to Cayuga Island. This is actually the cream of the crop. Cayuga Island is in LaSalle, not too far from here, but it's surrounded by water, and we'll take a close look at that, and we'll head over there right now. Okay, I'm standing on the entrance to Cayuga Island in LaSalle. I'm on the Cayuga Island Bridge. The bridge is the only access in and out of Cayuga Island, and behind me is the Little Niagara River. And the reason I stopped here is because I wanted to show you that there's a little river on the inside, and on the outside of the island is the big Upper Niagara River. This little river is more protected from the weather, so it is very desirable, but the bigger homes are actually out on the River Shore Drive area. There's also West River Shore, which is part of this little river. We'll take a drive down and I'll show you both those properties. Right now, let's take a ride over to Griffin Avenue. We'll look at some of the local, or the houses that aren't on the river, and then we'll look at some of the riverfront properties. Let's go. So we're on a side street here on Cayuga Island. I just wanted to give you an example of a typical home on Cayuga Island. They're nicer homes. They're probably anywhere from, say, 1,300 square feet on the small to maybe 2,200 or 2,300 on the large. And actually bigger homes on the waterfront on West River Shore Drive. And to my left over here is actually Jane Park, which is here on Cayuga Island. Then you have 3 or 4 blocks of typical homes like this that you see here. And as we head over this way towards the big river, we'll take a ride over there and we'll take a look at what some of the homes look like on the big river. And it's the Upper Niagara River. We're here on West River Shore Drive on Cayuga Island in LaSalle. And as I mentioned before, this is probably where a lot of the more expensive homes are. It's a very exclusive area to live, especially being on the waterfront. So if you look over here, you can actually see that's the Upper Niagara River. That's the river that flows just before Niagara Falls. Probably about 2 miles down the road is where Niagara Falls is. Well, this water will actually go over the falls in about a half an hour. Kind of cool. Actually, one of the homes here just sold recently. It's a 1,700 square foot home. I think it was only a 2-bedroom. It sold for $520,000. So you get the idea that it's a fairly exclusive neighborhood. Property taxes on a home like that would probably be around $8,900 to $9,000 a year in property taxes. This is River Shore. What I want to do is take you over to West River Shore because it's an interesting street in the fact that it divides the island between the two rivers. So on one side of the street you have the upper river, and then on the other side of the street you have the little river. So we'll take a quick look at that. As we drove down West River Shore, you probably noticed that a lot of the garages were facing the street. There's a reason for that. The garages are actually the back of the house. The front of the house actually faces the big river and the little river. And if you look off to my right here, you'll actually see that's the entrance to the little river that goes on the protected side. And then I'll swing around here so you can see the big river. Out here is the open water. And downriver, you can actually see the Grand Island Bridge. That's the Grand Island Bridge headed, it's the 190 heading southbound towards Buffalo. So it's a great place to live. And if you're a boater and you want protected water, you go on the little river side. And if you like that open water, the dock's on the big river side as well. It just gets a little rougher out there because there's more traffic. So one of the things I forgot to mention when we were in that LaSalle section of the neighborhood was we had talked about how the homes were being fairly typical Cape Cods and ranches, but we didn't talk about their sizes and what the values are. A typical Cape runs anywhere from, say, a low of 900 square feet to as much as 1,400 or 1,500 square feet, but typically they're about 1,300 or 1,400 square feet. The ranch homes are usually in the same range, anywhere from a small of 800. There are some small homes out there, to as high as 1,400 or 1,500 square feet. Some are brick, some are vinyl sided, some are aluminum sided. So there's quite a mixture of properties in LaSalle. And they all run in the price range of anywhere from a low of 90 for a home that probably needs a lot of work to as much as $200,000, $220,000, but typically around $175,000 to $200,000. That's an incredible value for a home. So if you're looking to come to Niagara Falls, I think I've got some neighborhoods for you. So one of the things that we didn't mention during the video was the fact that Niagara Falls is a huge tourist destination. Millions of people from around the world come by here every year just to see the American Falls. So our downtown area, or the South End, is mostly hospitality, hotels, restaurants, and things like souvenir shops and things that cater to the tourists. Behind me you see one of the big hotels. And for other entertainment, we actually have the Seneca Niagara Casino right across the street. So if you're looking to do a little gambling while you're here, you've got that opportunity. So I promised you, if you waited around to the end, that I was going to reward you with something you're absolutely going to want to see. We're going to go there now, and we're going to show you. So when we talked earlier, I promised you there would be something at the end of the video that you definitely don't want to miss. Are you ready? Here we go. How about that? We're in the upper Niagara River, just probably a couple hundred yards away from the brink of the falls down this way. This is the water rushing to the brink. It's going to go over the falls. 300 tons per minute of water goes over Niagara Falls and heads down the lower Niagara River out to Lake Ontario. That's a spectacular view. If you've enjoyed this video, I'm asking you to do me a huge favor and subscribe below. Don't forget to tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about changes here in Niagara Falls. As always, feel free to reach out to me anytime. The information below. You can phone me, email me, text me, DM me, however you want to get in touch with me, and I'll help you make a smooth move. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.